Hi, I'm Dr. Chip Bennett, and I'm joined with Dr. Warren Gage. Warren, in the Greek theater, which many people who read Scripture probably aren't aware of the Greek theater and aware that many of the biblical things that we read in Scripture really come out of some of the Hellenistic traditions. The Greeks had a theater, and in those theaters they had these two masks that most people are familiar with, the comedic masks. One sort of is smiling and one sort of is looking sad. Tell us a little bit about those masks and what they mean.
Well, the two masks represent the two halves of life as all of us experience it with. And I think that would be a fair representation. When we get married, we pledge to be with one another through bad things and good things, through better or worse. We talk about it. It's, in other words, the totality of life. We pledge to our fidelity to one another through whatever comes, but we
thick and thin.
Thick and thin, but we do know that there will be both. And Solomon told us that in Ecclesiastes. He talks about in the day of prosperity, which is wonderful. We all like that. Blue skies and green lights.
Preaches well in America.
That's right. Preaches too well sometimes. But it can become inauthentic because there are also days of adversity. Solomon spoke about those as well. And they create a rhythm back and forth of the way that we experience life. If we're going to live it authentically, we need to understand that there are certain skills that we need to have in order, the days of prosperity are fairly easy to sail through.
Correct.
But we need to be pilots who understand how to sail through the days of adversity as well. And Scripture gives us these concepts. The Greeks spoke about them. Scripture helps us really to understand them. And the way that the Greeks spoke about them, when the Gospels are written, they're aware of all of that.
Correct.
And so they're writing into that, and the people at the time who received the Gospels would have read the Gospels in light of those categories.
Sure, and they're categories that we just don't have in the church. We don't tend to think of tragic and comedy. We tend to think that life just needs to be great, and then when it goes bad, something's wrong. But really, if we understand that rhythm of the masks, the bottom line is when we enter into tragedy, we also know biblically that there will be a comedic end to that tragedy.
Right.
That is suffering.
That's called hope.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And hope is the gift of comedy. It allows you to persevere through the adversities of life.
That's right. Well, we hope you have enjoyed this segment of Comedy in the Christian Life, and hope it spoke to your life.